page 92 in the student book. On page 92, you see the word fluency first read. You're going to practice reading the words fluently. I'm going to take your book. Actually, you're going to have your book, and you're going to, for 1 minute, read each word moving from left to right, tracking each word with your pencil. I will mark any errors with a small X above the misread word. I will place a star to the right of the last word read when the time ends. If you're able to read all the words in the allotted time, you need to start over at the beginning. I will indicate this by placing 2 stars to the right of the first word. I will then calculate the total words read, subtracting any errors and recording. You're going to actually read the passage twice. And then you're going to record the information on the progress chart in the back of your student book. You may begin. Now we're going to look at page 84 in the student book. First, we're going to begin by reviewing the vocabulary words from Gemini, the twins. First, we're going to begin by reviewing the vocabulary words from Gemini, the twins. I want you to answer these questions in complete sentences aloud. Is a constellation a group of stars or a single star? What is a pattern of stars in the sky like Gemini? Who wrote stories in lines with rhythm and emotion about constellations? Pollux was immortal, so he couldn't die. But Castor died because he was what? Castor and Pollux are said to be the 2 bright stars in the constellation Gemini. What is another word for bright? Stars have been in the night sky for a very long time. They are very old. What is another word for very old? A constellation is a group of stars that make a picture in the night sky. What is a word for a picture made by something repeating? Castor and Pollux were expert soldiers. Were they skilled soldiers or average soldiers? Soldiers like Castor and Pollux win most of their battles because of their knowledge and skill. How do we describe them? Pollux didn't want to live without his brother because he was very loyal to him and cared deeply for him. What word could we use to describe Pollux? Understanding how words connect to one another improves our vocabulary and comprehension. A synonym is a word that means the same or nearly the same as another word. Automobile and car mean the same. They are synonyms. Bright and brilliant are almost the same. What are they? Freezing and cold mean almost the same. What are they? Notice that synonym and same begin with the same letter S. Synonyms are words that mean the same or nearly the same. Synonym, same. They both start with the same sound and the same letter. Remembering this might help you remember the relationship or connection between words that are synonyms. So when you hear the word synonym, what word should you think? That's right. Same. I will say a word and you tell me the synonym out loud. Chili, ship, infant, simple. Now let's return to page 93 in the student book. I will read a word. Choose a synonym from the word bank and write it on the line. Follow along as I complete the first one. Angry. A word that means the same thing as angry is mad. Mad must be a synonym. I see the word mad in the word bank, so I've written the word mad on the line. Let's do the second one together. Strange. Look at the word bank and find a word that means the same as strange. Odd is the synonym for strange, so write odd on the line. Now listen to the remaining words and write each synonym on the line. Remember to use your word bank. 3. Ill. 4. Thin. 5. Cut. 6. Bag. 7. Little. 8. Friend. 9. Hat. 10. Tug. 11. Choose. 12. Large. Does anybody need any of those repeated? Now let's look at our answers. 3 is sick. 4, slim. 5, snip. 6, sack. 7, small. 8, pal. 9, cap. 10, pull. 11, pick. And 12, big. Please correct any of them that you missed. We've been learning about different categories for words. Some of these categories are nouns, verbs, and prepositions. Knowing these categories helps us determine the work being done by words in a sentence. We use questions to identify the categories. Now let's look at another type of word. Look at the sentence on the board. Kim ran. Think about the questions that could be answered by this sentence. Who? Who is the sentence about? That's right, it's Kim. What did Kim do? She ran. That's right. We are able to answer two questions, the who and the what did she do questions. Remember, the who or the what is answered by a noun, and the what did she do is answered by a verb. Think about the words you use to answer how, when, and where questions. Let's expand the sentence by adding words that answer other questions. Think about possible answers for the when question. When did Kim run? Kim ran before school. Kim ran at night. What are some other possible answers to the when question? Where did Kim run? Kim ran to the store. How did she run? She ran quickly. Notice that often your answers were more than a single word. Some of these phrases should look familiar. Think about the work you did in the previous lesson. Phrases such as before school and at night are prepositional phrases. All of the answers on the board provide more information about the verb or the action that answers the question, what did she do? In the sentence. Remember when we asked when, where, or how the action took place? Words that describe the action or the verb are called adverbs. Can you see how this category of words may have gotten its name? There's a big clue in the name that should help you remember it. Adverbs are words or phrases that add to the verb. Often when we answer the how question, we use a single word. Listen to these words: quickly, slowly, sadly, hesitantly, eagerly. All of them tell us how an action was carried out. They have something else in common. Did you notice how they ended? They all ended in ly. Not every word that ends in ly is an adverb. Words such as holly and belly won't answer the how question. When you see a word that ends in ly, ask yourself if it is related to the verb and answers the how question. If so, it is an adverb. Now let's turn to page 94 in the student books. Read the passage. Decide whether the underlined words and phrases tell when, where, or how. Write the words or phrases in the correct column. Earthly twins. Elvis was born a twin in 1935 in Mississippi. The first underlined phrase is in Mississippi. Think about the three possible questions this phrase could answer. Does it answer the when question, the where question, or the how question? That's right. So we're going to write it down here under where. In Mississippi. Now I want you to continue reading the passage and stop to ask questions about each underlined word or phrase. Make sure you write the response in the correct column. Now let's read the passage without stopping. Earthly twins. Elvis was born a twin in 1935 in Mississippi. Unfortunately, his twin Jesse died at birth. Elvis became famous. He went on to make music history. He got his start in music when he got a guitar for Christmas in 1946. From that beginning, Elvis went on to sell more records than anyone. Kim and Kari Baker are also twins. These twins are ranchers and photographers. Born in Montana, they lived there until their teens when they moved to Florida. There they developed a love for horses. In 1988, they returned to Montana and became ranchers. Their love of horses continues. Remarkably, horses can tell them apart, but people often can't. Skilled readers constantly monitor what they know and what they still need to find out as they read. By sorting these phrases and being aware of what kind of information they add to a passage, you are doing the kind of monitoring that will make you better readers. Now let's go to page 95 in your student books. Read the questions. Circle the question word. Write what the answer must include. Think about the question words that appear in the top part of the page. Look at the question words poster or the chart. I will ask a question and I want you to tell me the question word. Then tell me what the answer must include. What is the name of the brightest star? How did the ancient Chinese explain constellations? Are Ursa Minor and Ursa Major seen at the same time of year? Who names the stars in the sky? Do people still use stars to help them? Even though you may not have known the answers to the questions, you were able to identify the question word and determine what needed to be included in your answer. Now let's look at the questions at the bottom of the page. Let's read the questions and circle the question word in each one. Then you will decide what must be included in your response. Remember, I'm not asking you to answer the questions. I just want you to recognize different types of questions and automatically know what kind of information you need to find to answer the question. Now let's look at number 1. Is the sky divided? So we're going to circle is because that is our question word. And the answer must include yes or no with an explanation. So now I want you to do the same for numbers 2 through 5.